Hi, Ann.
Hey, Dole. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. I was just looking at a storm. It's
Oh,
approaching.
yeah. It's that time of year, huh?
Yeah, looks like we may get rain. That'd be good, except for the water guys who
Oh,
have been struggling
I was
from,
gonna say I'm having all of my construction stuff is just delayed and delayed and delayed. They just can't, their subgrade doesn't maintain density, so they can't be on it. Then they have to recompact it. They
oh,
can't pour
wow.
concrete when it's raining.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that has been a
Oh,
problem.
it's been tough.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the turbidity, they've been on CSU water for, gosh, weeks.
Oh, they still are?
No, they're not now,
Oh,
but
okay.
hopefully they can stay off of it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
they've been on a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a challenging year, summer. Hi, Nancy.
Hello, hi Dole.
Hi.
You being incognito today, Dole?
Oh, no. I'll lift my laptop up here in just a second. I only have the video on my laptop, so then I have to open my laptop and then have my other monitors going. So
Yeah.
it's cumbersome, but I'm getting you set up here.
Hi, Susan.
Nancy, if you want to see my sweet face, just say so.
Always, Dole, always.
By the way, no one's ever said that to me, so I just made that up.
Yeah, maybe your mom, right?
Yeah, that's right. Barely.
I went to the dermatologist this morning and she said, "Oh, your face looks good." And I go, "Obviously, we're using different criteria to determine that."
Yeah. Yeah, what's your standard, lady?
Yeah, that's funny.
So we're Carl and Bill. We know Aaron's not going to be here.
Right.
Maybe it's just going to be the four of us or the five. Tweed. Yep, I see Tweed. Maybe it's just going to be the five of us. Carl's often a bit late.
Yeah.
And hopefully Bill got the email. He should have because he called me a couple days ago.
Mm.
But it's 3:30, so let's go ahead and get started. Any comments on the agenda, additions or subtractions?
Nope.
Hearing none, we'll move on. Public comment, I don't see any public in attendance, so I guess we'll skip that. Any comments on the minutes?
Nope.
They look good to me. All in favor of approving the minutes? I'm not even going to take a motion.
Yeah, aye.
All right, we're good to go there. So updates. Dole, after our discussion last month, we got that note from Denise, and I was wondering where we are with that now.
So, couple of things. So they redid the proposal with the same company that did the roof at our Authentic. So it's the exact same company, fully licensed contractor. I don't know why they mistyped my name and why they used my mom's email address as well. So they haven't sent me the revised draft, but I told them to fix those things. And so they're supposed to be sending it to me. Now, Nancy, to your point, I'm not sure I understood Denise's email and I haven't really had a chance to ask. This is the same quote. I think if we want to go back to the industry and try to get quotes again, we certainly can. I think it's just going to be months out again. I mean, it's just been very difficult to get responses. So I think that was her direction. And I just haven't done it yet.
Okay, my sense was her direction was that she wanted an RFP and she was going to talk with the people who were roofing something. I can't remember now.
City Hall.
City
Right.
Hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So Dole, I definitely think, and she would need to sign off on this contract anyway, correct?
Yes.
So I think
Yeah,
our
so-
guy,
Yeah. So we'll just delay this for however long it takes is really all that it means.
well, are you going to talk with her to further explain?
I think I should. I'd like
I
to,
do
but
too.
I don't know if it'll make a difference.
And understood, but I think you need to talk with her and I would highly recommend that you do so. And then I think that we gave our guidance in terms of the care that needs to be taken, make sure he's licensed, which you've done, and bonded and so on, and with BVH to ensure that it's not going to harm any of our
Yes.
historical, et cetera, or do
Yes.
more damage. So if that's all done, I think our guidance is the same and you just have to come to some, whatever agreement it is. Either we go with this, a single or a sole source, or it's rebid out, whatever, but
Okay. Well, and
Right.
her question too about the permit is, I mean, that's, it's going to be the same permit cost no matter who we hire.
exactly.
Right.
And
And I
it's a
did,
part of,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Ann.
Sorry. No, go ahead, Dole.
Just that it's a part of doing business. And, I could put it in there that they can just bill us separately. Like, this is the price for the work and then give us the price for the invoice. And then that's what it is. PPRBD does have a calculator on their website to help estimate permit costs. And so I ran that calculation and, it's just not a big deal considering the scope and scale of this project, but we'll make sure that it's addressed.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right.
Any other
I'd
comments?
really like to just hire these guys. In visiting with him in the field, he was very knowledgeable, very helpful, very responsive, and that just has not been my experience thus far. So,
Well, I'm going to just leave that to you and
Okay.
Denise to figure out.
Right.
Sounds good.
And-
Any
and
other comments?
Yeah, my comment was going to be, I think Aaron agreed that since HPC has really started their review of Hiawatha Gardens, that anything like this is going to have to somehow be communicated to them. And she was going to work with Hannah to figure out how. So this is,
and just like an update, Ann, or like,
she was going to run that by Hannah.
okay.
But clearly they're in the game now, so they've got to be consulted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think they'll give us the green light because this is only helping, but at least they will have been consulted with.
Right.
Yeah. Good point, Ian. Thank you.
I've got a question. Dole, are you gonna match the scope of services with what's in this bid?
So that's always the trick. I mean, that's basically what we'd have to do if we have to go put this out for formal proposal. I mean, it's going to take us 2 months to get it out, then go through selection. For $34,000 worth of work, we're usually able to just, be a little bit less formal with it. So, but to Nancy's point, let me chat with Denise and see if this changes her opinion at all. And if it doesn't, then we'll go through the whole process. If it does, then maybe we can hire these guys.
Great. All right, welcome, Carl. I see that you're on now.
Hello.
Next update, Dole, is on the BVH contract. Is there anything that we need to be aware of?
We've been emailing back and forth with them several times. There's been questions about scope to include and things like that. So I think that they are expecting Todd's last email back from us said that he is expecting the proposal to be in our inbox. And I thought he said August 1st. Yes. So he's thinking that we should have the proposal from them, Olson and DHM, all within BVH's contract, August 1st, which is, next week.
And is that typical? That's what it might be expected? I mean,
that's just a few days away. Yeah, I think so, Nancy.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
next Tuesday.
No, I understand. I just, it's been quite a while and I've not been following the contract as closely.
Yeah.
So
I think that's very reasonable. And again, this is just for them to, I don't want to say simulate, but design out the two scenarios, the two floodplain impact scenarios. This isn't for construction drawings. This
right.
is just for us to be able to make a decision on which direction we want to go. Then we'll jump into construction drawings after that.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on BVH contract or? Hearing none, we'll move on. So Dole, any updates on the floodplain since what you sent us, which was helpful, by the way?
Okay, is there a drum roll in the Zoom feature? All right, so based on Anne's suggestion to see if we could argue that the north building is just in support basically of the existing dance hall, I sent in a request for the variance. So the variance would allow the north building to not, the variance allows the north building the same floodplain exemptions as the dance hall.
Right.
And
So
when
here
will-
was,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Nancy.
When do we expect to hear back?
Here's his response. He approved it
Already. Wow.
already.
Wow. Good. That's good.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
And now what that means is that if the city, so, after we go through this modeling scenario with BVH, the city would have the ability then to go ahead and build this north building at the same elevation as the dance hall
Right.
and be exempted from the floodplain requirements. Now, that does mean that we're technically within the floodplain, but as we've discussed many times, we can at least acknowledge and accept that risk or make some minor improvements or something like that. But basically what this means is we can now build it at the same finished floor elevation as the dance hall, or if the city so chooses, we can lift everything up 18 inches.
Right. And part of what BVH is going to do is cost out. Not
Correct,
that-
both
that
scenarios.
would- Yeah.
Exactly right.
Could you email us?
I
this?
will, and I will. I just wanted to present it today.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, but thank you.
And Anne, this is what you had been kind of suggesting all along. So I'm glad that you did, because this really has the ability to really simplify and streamline the floodplain permitting on this project.
Yeah. And as we've said continually, there is no evidence that flooding has been a
Right.
problem. There is a drainage problem that we're going to have to fix as we go through the construction, but there's no real evidence that flooding has ever been an issue.
Correct. And especially that far north on the site.
Well, good.
So-
That's great.
Good teamwork, you two. That I know that
Good
was
job,
very
guys.
challenging and a long drawn out process, but ultimately I think it's going to pay off for us. So thanks for pursuing it.
Yeah, so I'll send you all, but here's my letter that I wrote, and then the ordinance attaching the historic designation,
Great.
and then sent it in. So,
Very
Thanks.
good.
yep.
Good job.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good outcome.
All right, so BVH isn't here tonight, so they were gonna check with SHPO, especially on the integrity of the west wall and the south entrance, the historic integrity. Just to, in my opinion, I could be wrong, and I've certainly been wrong on these things before, but my sense is that we cannot mess with the facade of the west side especially. And we need to confirm on the south side, but I think it's important to do that sooner rather than later. So Dole, perhaps if you could follow up to see if they followed up on that as yet.
I think they're working on it. I think we're a little bit delayed in getting their engagement scope of service contract signed and back to them. So I think they were pausing until we had that signed and back to them.
And when do you expect that community engagement?
Soon.
What does that mean?
Like as soon as we can, because it's small enough that Roy or Denise can approve it. So it was just a matter of getting the signatures set up.
Okay.
And early next week, Nancy.
Okay,
And I'll just mention again that because HPC is involved, and this would be, I think, a pretty big deal for them as well, it would have to be in some manner discussed with them. And I think Aaron understood that and was trying to figure out how to do that.
Just,
And
Okay.
I think, Anne, we would really want their concurrence. I think that would help us with any of our discussions with SHPO.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
SHPO to know that the local planning commission, HPC approved it.
yeah, and I don't think, just me knowing HPC, they're not going to approve putting garage doors on the west side.
we're
You
probably
can,
didn't mess with that facade at all.
yeah, you can talk to them about it, but I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, we just need it confirmed, that's all
Yeah.
from HPC.
So,
and
Anne,
SHPO.
do you think we should get on their agenda then? Do you think
You
we
kn-
should just formally go and have some drawings and present this and talk about it?
Yeah, I
I-
think
Yeah,
you need
okay.
to, Aaron needs to work through that again with Hannah, but absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
You need their feedback because you've already showed them in that initial meeting. You showed them the design that does not have
right,
the west side changed in any way. So,
right.
yeah,
And
And
then you,
even-
of course, heard council ask for it, some council members asked for it aggressively.
Yep.
But at
When-
least if HPC says no, that at least tells council something,
And did HPC have any issue with the south entrance?
it was a very preliminary. There's a airplane going overhead, very preliminary discussion. And they had really very few comments. Aaron really didn't focus on the south very much at all. So they saw the rendering we've all seen. That
Okay,
shows the west side, the west facade.
because we probably should bring up both just before we do a lot of drawings.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Erin, when she's back, she needs to figure out how to do
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Yeah, but
You
sooner
guys-
rather than later.
um,
Susan?
yeah, when the community engagement subgroup met, we talked about, in light of the city council meeting, the kinds of answers we need before we go to a community meeting. And one of those was an answer on, can the west exterior be changed? We're not asking people about that, but in case there are questions, we need to have an answer. So if we could get some sort of sense of yes or no before August 17th, that would be great.
Yeah, well, HPC has a first Wednesday in August meeting. So if you can get Erin to somehow surface that to them,
Great. Okay.
you could get feedback. Yeah.
Okay, good.
When is Aaron due back? Next week?
Yeah, I think she's just gone for a long weekend, I think.
Nancy,
Okay,
I don't know. I could look at her calendar.
okay. But Joel, if you could get with her on that, to just say timing is of the essence. We really need it to get before HPC. And a recommendation or a decision or something that it can or cannot be messed with.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Okay. Hi, Bill. You made it. So now for the meat of our discussion today, and Susan and Tweed are going to talk about our August 17th meeting, our community engagement, and what all we need to, what roles we will all have and what logistically we need to support. So Susan and Tweed, take it away.
Okay. Susan. Well, you can too. We met Alex and Aaron and Tweed, and I met, Tuesday. And we confirmed the agenda. We highlighted some questions that we need to ask you guys today. We went over all the materials and assigned responsibilities and deadlines, so we're all set. It's so far, we're good. So I'm not gonna, we don't need to go over the agenda in detail again, because you guys were comfortable with it last. I'll kind of highlight a few minor changes that we agreed to and talk about the presentation a bit. So Dole, we had you opening up the meeting as project manager, just welcome and introducing council members and who all's there and talking about the purpose of the meeting. Aaron kindly agreed to do the PowerPoint presentation. And some of us will be contributing slides to her, and Dole, I'm sure she'll need some slides from you, some information for slides, but she's going to do the PowerPoint that'll track with this agenda. And Aaron's going to talk about the meeting. She'll talk about the meeting she'll review the meeting agenda. Alex then will talk about the parameters and expectations. He'll review the sustainable decision-making graphic that the city uses. He'll make the point that we don't have funding for any amenities at this point.
Wait, what was that, Susan?
He will make the point that we don't have funding for any amenities on the plaza at this point. You know, we haven't funded any specific amount for plaza amenities. Can you guys hear me okay?
It's not great.
I feel like I'm screaming, but I'll get closer and talk louder. And then he'll make the point also that the HPC and city council has to approve the plan for Hiawatha Gardens. Then I will review past community engagement, what the task force has done since 2018 and the responses we've gotten. And then Aaron will review the sketch that we have from BBH that shows the two buildings in the plaza. And talk about the timeline and that city council and HPC have reviewed the plans, but they haven't given final review, and just kind of give the background on the whole planning process. And then we go into small group work. So Erin's going to kind of serve as facilitator, and she will give the small group instructions, which will be written out. Everybody will have a copy of the small group instructions. She'll review some ground rules for participation, the ones we always use, to play nice, listen to each other, and explain the role of the task force members that will be sitting at the table. And we have questions for you about that in just a minute. Anyway, just go over the forms that they need to use. Do you remember the form last year or last time we covered that said, do you want it to be historic or modern, the feel of the plaza? So she'll go over that. So small groups will work for an hour, and then they report out. Each group reports out. And by the way, we're being optimistic and we're planning on 12 groups of 6 people. And if we could get 72 people, wouldn't that be wonderful? But we're going to be set up for that many people. So that would be great. And then after they all report out, Erin is going to just kind of facilitate a discussion about what did you hear? What did you think? What are you excited about? And I think it'll be good for everybody to hear everybody else's perspective about those questions. And then Dole, if you can wrap up and talk about what happens next, so everybody knows there's more engagement coming, you know, where the steps coming up, and I'm sure Erin will have a graphic for that. So That's the agenda. Yeah. The one idea we had, which I thought was great, but I'm not so sure it's great now, that Dole, you said the dimensions of the plaza are 8,500 square feet.
That's that ish. Yes, that's what I measured.
Okay. Somebody had a great idea, which is so that people can get a sense of the size of the plaza, let's tape it off on the floor.
Of Memorial Hall.
In Memorial Hall. But I'm not sure that'll work. I don't think Memorial Hall is 8,500 square feet.
I don't either.
So we're gonna need to rethink that.
Give me a second here and I can tell you if we can fit it.
Okay.
I mean, keep going, but I'll be working in the background here to see if I can get the dimensions in there.
Okay. As you recall, last time we talked about getting one task force member to sit at every table. And the role of the task force people would just to be not to tightly facilitate the meeting at all. Small groups can work by themselves just fine, but sort of watch the clock. If they get stuck on one particular thing, remind them that they still have other work to do and just kind of coach them along. And also answer any general questions they might have, not technical questions, because we've got BVH and Dole for that, but to answer any general questions about process or things like that. So we wanted to get a head count and see if everybody here was willing to sit at a table and just serve that sort of informal role. We'll have BVH and Dole, I hope Dole, roaming around answering technical questions. We're going to tell people that Dole and BVH people are there, and if they have answers that are more technical, to raise a hand, and then they can go over and answer their questions. But are all of you willing to sit down at a table and serve just as a not a tight facilitator by any means,
No.
but to just be there as a resource and keep the group moving, and if they get confused about what they're supposed to do next, help them. Is that
I'm
okay?
seeing head nods by everybody, Susan, so I think you're
Okay.
good to go. That'll be at 6 people if you and Tweed are also
That's
helping with
great.
that.
Yeah, good. Okay, thank you guys for doing that. And then Alex is going to begin promotion this week. He's drafted a release. We've taken a look. That should go out Friday.
Yeah.
And he'll do the general promotion, but we're also going to target like art groups, Crane, whatever artist groups we can get. He's going to talk to Natalie Johnson about any other people we should target. We're going to invite Concrete Couch, just all of the creative people we have in this community. So if you guys can help us recruit, if you know anybody who's an artist or hangs out with artists or is sort of in that circle, if you could,
Architect. Right.
I'll ask Deborah Harrison.
I'll
ask Deborah Harrison.
that'd be great. That'd be great. Cause we want to do the targeted stuff too. Aaron's come up, or Alex came up with some emails from our past meetings. I came up with some emails. So we're trying to recreate Emily's list. Carl, you have a question?
Do we want to also target people, gardeners, right? The pollinators and people with gardening experience that might be able to
Yes, yeah.
bring that kind of
Good idea.
expertise?
Yep, and we're gonna target bicycle groups. So, yeah, and we're gonna, people like Julia Wright, who's involved with Common Wheel, we wanna make sure she's there. So if you guys can think of anybody that we really need to target, just shoot me an email and we'll do our best to get word to them.
And speak to them
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah, or if
And-
you can help recruit, that's
Yeah.
great. I know Alex will do a really good job with promotion, but personal recruitment is really strong. So anything you can do would be wonderful. The subgroup's going to meet again on August 10th, just to not really do a dry run of the meeting, but just make sure we've got all of our materials in order. We'll go over the PowerPoint, make sure that's that's what we need, and just make sure we're all set. And then Aaron will begin printing everything on August 14th. So any questions? I've got questions for the task force, but any questions for Tweed or me about the
So far.
meeting itself? Is everybody comfortable?
Mhm.
I just wanna, I know we've said this.
Can't hear you, Tweed, sorry.
Okay. I know we've said this, but I just want to reemphasize that the task force's primary job as an individual member is to listen. If you can come away from a group with a good sense of the range of thinking, that will help out all of us as we go down the road and refine this.
Yeah, good point. I forgot to mention that.
So just to, because I could hear part of what you said, you're asking each of the task force members to come away with our impressions of what transpired at our table?
Yeah, just listen really carefully and
Okay,
yeah, yeah. You don't
kind of
have
a
to-
summary.
You don't have to do anything formal,
Right.
but yeah. Carl?
Can I take us on a quick technical tangent? If in your Zoom app, if you move your mouse around, do you get the toolbar at the bottom with like your audio in the bottom left corner? And do you see an up arrow?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can you click on that up arrow
just a minute.
and then select audio settings? And you
Wait,
should
wait just a
see
minute.
your microphone. And there's a volume kind of bar beneath the microphone. Can you just confirm that that is at a higher level and not super low? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I've turned that up multiple times, and now when I click on the microphone, I'm getting a box.
All right, but sorry, I was just, if you had your microphone turned down, that would be
Yeah.
an easy fix.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I've turned it up multiple times. I don't know why it's so hard, but
The
And-
next time in the neighborhood, I'll stop by and we can do a technical consult.
that would be great. So we need to communicate the timeline, and Dole had it up for a minute.
I'll pull it back up.
Okay, that's great. We just, before we communicate this to the community, we want to make sure that the task force is absolutely certain this is the timeline.
One thing while we're waiting is acronyms. There's a lot of acronyms in here.
In the timeline?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay,
yeah, good point.
yeah, we'll mention that to Erin and hopefully she can fit everything in. So is this still the task force's understanding about the timeline going forward? Can we make this public is what I'm asking.
This is basically what we showed to council, right?
Yes.
Right.
So it's already public.
Right,
It was in the packet that went to council.
right? So it's good to go?
I think so.
Okay,
A plan is a plan is a plan, and it's our best estimate of what the
Yep.
plan is. So
And I think that the floodplain benefit has the opportunity to speed this up a little bit now.
right.
I mean, we don't need to say that, but just between us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Erin also made the point, and she wanted it to pass that along, that having the plaza design will be helpful for the flood analysis. Knowing the kinds of things people want, the uses and the character of the plaza, she thought would be helpful
In making choices.
in making choices when it comes to the flood solutions. Now, maybe that's all gone away with with the flood administrator's letter, but.
Yeah,
Make that point.
they don't usually look at bike racks and benches and planters. That's really doesn't show up on that level of resolution. So I don't think we have to worry about that a whole lot. I think really the goal is, what does the community want? How does the site need to function? And the floodplain stuff won't really be impacted by it. In fact, I'm not even sure we would even show any of that on our floodplain mapping if we had to go through and get a revision done. So,
Okay, well, I made Aaron's point, so, okay.
okay.
Another question, Dole, this is for you. Can you ask BBH to please provide 12 color sketches of the sketch that shows the two buildings with the plaza? Could they do 12, 11 by 17s, and then we could have one at
Is
each
it,
table?
oh, I just closed it. The drawing that we've been using repeatedly, like the main one that we use.
Yeah,
And what
shows-
size did you say you wanted?
11 by 17,
Okay,
and if we could have 12 of them, then we've got one for each table.
because we can just print those out
Okay,
ourselves.
okay.
And just to clarify, Susan, you're talking about the colored ones with the parking lot and everything in there as well, right? Not the simple sketches of the building.
No, I'm talking about the one that's the sketch that shows the western facade. It shows the north building and
Let me
the
just pull that back up.
historic building, and it shows the plaza.
Got it. So the western facade, it's still in color, but the rest of the facade and the plaza in particular.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so people get a sense of scale and design and all of that stuff. That
Man,
would
I
be
just
great.
had that.
Nice ocean.
Okay. I just had that. You're wanting this drawing right here?
No, no, not the one of the parking lot, the one that shows, it's more of a sketch.
Of
It's
the building, right,
rendering, yeah.
right.
Oh,
It's a
the
3D
hor- the
render.
okay, the street level view one.
One you showed city council of the two buildings and the.
Okay. The PowerPoint. That was the PowerPoint.
Right.
Okay.
With the people walking around on the plaza.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up. This
There you
one.
go. Yes, yes,
Yep.
Okay, so you want 12 of these printed out.
yes, please.
Okay,
11 by 17.
big.
That'd be great, yeah,
Okay,
good. Aaron is doing a blank plaza space, so each small group will have like a 22 by 34 blank plaza that they can draw on. So that should be kind of cool. And then we'll post all of those for everybody to see after the groups have all done their small work. So that should be fun. Joel, another question for you. Is it possible, could we have a landscape architect from BVH's team there in addition to, I'm assuming Jennifer and Todd will be there?
you know, if we want that, we just got to ask for it. I mean, I think that's, I mean, yeah, if we want that, we just got to ask them for it.
Okay, could we? There's a lot of interest in landscaping on that plaza, a whole lot of interest. And I think it would be good to have a landscape, the team thought it would be good to have a landscape architect.
Okay, all right.
And if we could get Jennifer and Todd and a landscape architect, and then they can kind of roam around, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's all we have to tell you. Do you have questions or concerns?
Exactly.
Any questions or concerns?
Mm-mm.
Did you have additional questions for us, Susan?
No, I think we're good. I think we've got what I need. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, if we could go before HPC, before this public meeting, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, they're gonna have to really hustle because our meeting is next Wednesday. And we usually post stuff by Friday, so they're
As
gonna
in
have,
tomorrow?
as in tomorrow, yeah, yeah, as
Oh,
in tomorrow, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, if they could maybe just have a placeholder there and then fill it in with more information.
Well, and I'm feeling like I need to send that email then right now. If we're wanting to get, but let me ask you this though. Do you think we can go just ask HPC conceptually about the concept, or are they going to want to see renderings like this?
No, I think you could just conceptually say, so how would you respond if we said we wanted
Okay.
garage doors in the west facade? And I think you'll get a very straight answer.
But
Okay.
and I would caution you not always to say garage door. I mean,
Yeah.
there are other ways to do it, you know.
That's what, who was it? Shada said that, or
know,
Julie
yeah.
Wolf, one of them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But in any case, I think any alteration of the historic west facade,
That's
you
right.
could pose that question to HPC, although it's gonna have to be on the agenda, and
Yeah.
you could get a response.
I think that would be great.
So Dole, will you follow up on that?
I will. Well, I'm thinking that I need to either call Hannah right now, or I just need to send the email. And I don't even know who manages those agendas or anything about that.
Well, Erin's been doing HPC. Is she not back?
No, she's out of town today and tomorrow.
Okay,
She'll be
so
back Monday. So that's why I'm saying I better just step up and do it if we're going to try to meet that deadline.
I'd call Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then real quick.
And
What-
Dole, if
what-
you need help on that, give me a call, okay? If I
Okay.
can do anything in that regard as well.
And then remind me real quick. I know it's when is this meeting? I'm sending an
Se-
email to BVH so they can about the landscape architect
17th.
request.
August 17th.
Thank
from
you.
6 to 8 PM.
I know we have City Hall reserved from 5:30 to 8. Thank you.
Bless you. Okay, so any further comments or questions for Susan and Tweed? I think Susan and Tweed, sounds good. I'm very excited about this. This could be a really fun, fascinating
So, yeah,
session.
And I
So-
think it can really, if we can get the right people there, I mean, it could generate some real excitement for Hiawatha Gardens in general, I think.
And I like the idea of, if at all possible, Dole, did you find the dimensions of Memorial Hall?
Yeah, I was trying to pull and scale off of it. I know that we've talked about it. And I was trying to figure it out. So no, I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay. Because I think it would be fascinating
what
to
maybe
be
I
able to
could
put it
do.
on there to give people a concept. So,
Well, maybe.
Dole, could I check with you later and see?
Yeah, what I might do is I might grab an aerial of the approximate patio or, plaza and lay it over the top of the building just to kind of have because I think it's going to be close. I think it's probably going to be good enough for your scale and size of the event.
Okay. If you'd let me know what you recommend as far as that would be really helpful.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
all right then, thank you. Does anyone else have anything else for the good of the order at this point? Carl and Bill, you've been very quiet tonight. Bill? Can't hear you.
there you go.
Carl's gonna need to go to your house too. can you, we still can't hear you, unfortunately. And I don't have the chat on this one. So you could text me or something, Bill, if you wanted. It's fine. Well, or you could email us all and
I'll just unmute him. I'm just kidding. I didn't mute him. I'm just kidding.
anyway, sorry, Bill. Carl, anything that you'd like
Nope.
to?
All good, thank
Okay,
you.
cool. All right then. Great. Then moving on, we'll meet again in 2 weeks. Joel, if you need anything from me to get that, to try to get it on the HPC agenda, please let me know.
Yeah, I'll give Hannah a call.
And everyone else has their marching orders, which for some people are more than for other people. So, hey, Carl, I see Joan wandering back there. Did she get my email to set up a meeting with you guys?
Yes, I need to look at my calendar and give you a
Okay.
few times. Yeah, this week's been crazy. Apologies.
Okay, no problem. Sorry for that aside, but I just want to make sure she got the email. So, all right then, everybody, thank you so much, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.